Run your finger across that cloudy film on your shower glass. You've scrubbed it 100 times and it never actually leaves. And down in the corners of the tub, that pink or black creeping along the grout that comes back within a week, no matter how hard you go at it. I want to tell you why every spray you've ever bought for that has let you down. It's not that you didn't scrub hard enough. It's that you've been fighting two different problems with one weapon, and that weapon was never built for either job. 25 years fixing things, and this is one of those jobs everybody assumes is about elbow grease. It isn't. I spent a good chunk of my career underneath buildings looking at what water does to a surface over time, and a shower is just that process happening at eye level, 3 feet from where you stand every morning half asleep. Here's what's actually on your shower wall. The cloudy film is mineral. Hard water dries on the glass over and over, and every time it dries, it leaves behind a trace of the calcium it was carrying. That trace bonds to the surface. Do that for a few years, and you've got a thin crust of limestone sitting on your glass, not dirt sitting on top of it. The pink or black in the corners is a different problem entirely. That's mold. It's alive, feeding on the moisture and soap residue that collect in the corners nobody dries. It's growing into the grout, not sitting on it. One is mineral, one is biological. Two different enemies, and they don't share a weakness. Now here's the part that explains every failed bottle in your cabinet. Almost everything on that shelf is a form of soap or detergent, whatever the label calls itself. Soap is built to lift loose grime that's sitting on a surface. It's very good at that job. But it cannot dissolve a mineral that's chemically bonded to glass, and it cannot kill something that's alive and growing into a porous surface. You are bringing the right tool to the wrong two jobs, both at once every single week, and then wondering why your arm was tired and the glass still looked the same. So what actually works? Vinegar. Plain white distilled vinegar is a mild acid, and acid is what dissolves mineral. That's the whole mechanism, the same reason it works on a kettle or a shower head or the bottom of an iron. It reacts with the calcium and breaks the bond holding it to the glass the same way citric acid breaks down a limescale ring in a toilet bowl. Different acid, same idea. Once you understand that mechanism, you start seeing it everywhere in a house. Mix 1 cup of water, 1 cup of white distilled vinegar, and a teaspoon of dish soap in a spray bottle. The vinegar does the dissolving. The little bit of dish soap cuts through the greasy film that soap scum leaves behind, so the whole mess lets go of the surface instead of holding on halfway. Clear the shower out first. Every bottle and razor off the shelf so you've got the full surface to work rather than cleaning around a row of shampoo bottles. Rinse everything down with plain water to knock off loose hair and surface grime so the vinegar isn't wasted dissolving things a splash of water would have handled anyway. Spray it on, top to bottom, walls, glass, corners, tub. Be generous, you want it running, not misting. A light coat dries before it's done anything. Here's the step almost everybody skips, and it's the whole reason most people think this doesn't work. You have to let it sit 5 to 10 minutes, doing nothing. Walk away, go put the kettle on. You're not scrubbing the mineral off. You're giving the acid time to take it apart so it lets go on its own. If it starts drying before your 10 minutes are up, missed it again. It needs to stay wet and working the whole time because a vinegar spray that's gone dry on the glass has stopped reacting and started just sitting there looking optimistic. Then scrub top down in sections so dirty water always runs over what you haven't cleaned yet rather than back over what you have. A soft sponge warmed under hot water first so it goes gentler on the glass. Not a green scouring pad. Those are abrasive enough to leave fine scratches you won't see until the light hits them, and scratch glass holds mineral faster than smooth glass does. A soft bristled brush for the general area. If it's a big shower and your arms had enough, a soft brush head on a drill saves you the trouble. And I won't pretend I haven't used one. Only bring out a razor blade for the very worst, thickest buildup, the kind that's been sitting there since before you moved in. Keep the glass wet while you do it so the blade glides instead of catching. Fresh blade, slow hand, and never on a textured or tinted surface where a scratch shows for good. The textured non-slip part at the bottom of the tub needs different treatment entirely. A spray just runs off those grooves without ever getting down into them, the same way water runs off a plowed field instead of soaking in. A thicker cream cleanser sits in the texture instead of sliding away. Work it in with the brush, give it a minute, rinse. For the grout and the corners, let the vinegar sit longest there. That's where the mold actually lives, and it needs the time to reach it properly rather than just wiping the surface and leaving the roots to grow back next week looking exactly the same as before you started. Rinse it all off with plain water top to bottom. A trick that actually works here. Hold a cup flat against the wall, up high, and slowly tip it, and the water comes down as a sheet instead of splashing everywhere and soaking your shirt in the process. Now the step that decides whether you're back on your knees next month. Dry it. 2 dry microfiber cloths, glass, walls, fixtures, until there's no standing water left anywhere, not even a bead in the corner of the frame. Every water spot and every new patch of film starts the exact same way, with water sitting on a surface and drying there undisturbed. Dry it tonight and you're not rebuilding the problem you just spent 20 minutes solving. Skip it and you've done all that work to buy yourself maybe a week. 2 things not to do. Don't reach for a harsh acid or an aggressive chemical cleaner on that surface, because it can etch the glass and leave a dull mark that doesn't come back out no matter what you try after. And don't ever use toilet bowl cleaner on a tub or shower. I know it looks like the same kind of job. It isn't. Toilet cleaner is built strong enough for porcelain that gets flush clean every few hours, and on a shower finish, it will scar the surface permanently. Test anything new on a small hidden spot first. Low corner, 30 seconds. See what happens before you commit the whole wall to it. Here's the part worth sitting with for a second. Walk down a cleaning aisle and count the bottles. Soap scum removers, daily shower sprays, tile and grout foams, a whole wall of them, all with a slightly different name for the same claim. All of them promise to be the fix. None of them can dissolve a mineral, because they're all built on the same soap chemistry that was never going to touch it, no matter how the label is worded or how confident the man on the box looks. Even the daily spray you missed on after every shower, the one marketed specifically as prevention, leaves its own thin film behind over time. It's adding to the exact problem it claims to be stopping. You're not managing the buildup. You're feeding it slowly enough that you don't notice. They're not really selling you a fix. They're selling you the management of a problem that $1 of vinegar would actually end. There's no conspiracy in that. Nobody's sitting in a room planning it. There's just no money in a bottle of vinegar and a squeegee that lasts you a year. There's a great deal of money in a shelf you restock every month to manage a thing that never quite goes away. And the shelf is what gets the advertising budget. The habit that actually prevents most of this costs you 30 seconds and nothing else. After every shower, run a squeegee down the glass and the walls before the water has a chance to dry and leave its trace behind. That single habit alone stops most of the buildup before it starts. The same way wiping a knife dry the second you're done with it is the whole reason it never rusts. Keep the fan running or a window cracked afterward so the room actually dries out instead of sitting damp until the next shower. Once a week, a quick pass with the white distilled vinegar spray keeps mold from ever getting a proper foothold in the grout in the first place. Whew. Try it now. Spray the vinegar, let it sit, scrub gentle, rinse, dry. And come back and tell me in the comments whether that glass came clear for the first time in years. Tell me your county and how old your house is too, because the older the pipes and the harder the water, the worse that film builds. I read every one of them and I like knowing how everybody's getting on out there. Walter's verdict. 5 wrenches out of 5. $2 of vinegar and dish soap does what a whole shelf of sprays never could. From today, keep a squeegee in that shower 30 seconds after every wash, and you'll never be back on your knees the way you have been. Now let me know in the comments if this worked or not. Tell me the before and after.